Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Honorable Chief Justice, the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Secretary General and Head of the Civil Service and Minister for Presidential Affairs, Honorable Ministers, Honorable members of the National Assembly, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, senior government officials, service chiefs, venerable religious leaders, the Paramount Chief and Council of Chiefs, alcalos, our host, the Governor of West Coast Region, the National Mobilizer General, National Mobilizers, Yaya Conference and Green Youth, the contractor and consultants, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all protocols respectfully observed. Mr. Chairman, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to this landmark event, marking the 22nd anniversary of the great July 22nd Revolution. This occasion is indeed a significant milestone in the history of our dear motherland, the Islamic Republic of the Gambia. First of all, I give thanks and praises to the Almighty Allah who made this day a reality. We are gathered here with the Almighty's kindness to witness the commissioning of this magnificent 9-story building, officially referred to as the Petroleum House. Mr. Chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please allow me from the onset to state that the construction of a full-fledged office complex for petroleum product development purposes was conceived in 2005, and like many other government projects, my office was closely involved in the overall monitoring and supervision of this magnificent structure from design to completion. I remember when I first viewed the architectural design in August 2006, I had the cause to direct that the building be designed such that it represents a befitting symbol of national pride and future hope of the Gambia. I am sure you would all agree that the complex we see today is indeed a befitting one by all standards, ideals that inspire the birth of a new era. Well, 9-story buildings are maybe some of the lowest buildings in the developed part of the world. But as a country, it is very important. I always want to remind people, because that is what history is all about, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Yesterday, or day before yesterday, for 400 years, we were colonized. Not a single 3-story building was built for us for 400 years. 31 years of us is the central bank building that we used to pride ourselves, and still pride ourselves with it. But should we blame them? No. At least it took them 31 years to build something like that. If for every 31 years the British built such an edifice, the Gambia today would have been full of skyscrapers because it's a small country. Unfortunately, they were not here for that. Is this the type of building I wanted? Well, I wanted it to go higher than that to reflect the July 22nd revolution. I remember meeting the late Sagaria Silla and his team. Actually, the first design that was brought, I don't know who designed it, and I don't want to name the company, but it wasn't him, was disqualified right away. And they looked at me as if they were struck by a thunderstorm. And I made it very clear that this is not the type of building I want. This is as it is due to time constraints. And each time they came and I modified the building, it was intended to be inaugurated for the 20th anniversary of the July 22nd revolution. They came back to me and said, Your Excellency, if you continue like that, this building will not be inaugurated by the 20th anniversary. So I had to make some compromises with them. But all efforts for it to be completed for the 20th anniversary were impossible. Little did I know that the Almighty Allah wants it to be inaugurated on the 22nd anniversary of the July 22nd revolution. This is the beginning of a new era. It has taken us 22 years to reach here. It will take us less than 20 years to be an economic superpower. It will not take us up to 2025 for us to be an economic superpower. If with the little we had, we are able to bring this country to this level, with the so much that we have today, we will grow faster than anybody can imagine by the grace of the Almighty Allah. So, big things come from small things. 9-story, yes. I was made to understand that people around here, or people come from far and wide at night to take pictures, to be photographed here. Well, this is what we have for so far. 3 years from now, you'll not be looking at this building. You'll be looking at something. By the grace of the Almighty Allah, 3 years from now, this building will be as common as Central Bank, inshallah. But for now, this is what we have, and we are grateful to the Almighty Allah. Mr. Chairman, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, today is a special and glorifying day for government and the patriotic citizens of this country. This is so because the ultra-modern structure we are about to inaugurate is a manifestation of my government's firm commitment to the transformation of this country into an ultra-modern city-state of the 21st century and beyond, inshallah. May I state that since July 27, 1994, my government has taken and continues to take giant strides towards the realization of the country's transformational agenda, which transcends all sectors of the economy. The government, under my leadership, and the APRC party, has prioritized infrastructure development as a fundamental prerequisite, without which our collective vision of becoming an economic superpower state on or before the year 2025, inshallah, will not be attained. My government's dream of a superpower state, economic superpower, and a superpower of peace, I mean, not a military one, because we don't believe in those. My government's dream of a superpower state. And what do I mean by a superpower state? A state where all manners of people would live at home, would feel welcome. You will not be discriminated based on your religion, your race, your origin, or how you look. Where all of us would be one as designed by the Almighty Allah, that we are members of the same human family, irrespective of where you come from. Where everybody will live in peace, but also where we only worship the Almighty Allah alone and nobody else. It will be a superpower of peace and love, a superpower of prosperity, shared prosperity for all, irrespective of your nationality. This is the type of superpower I'm talking about. That is a superpower that intimidates people thousands of kilometers from their shores. It will be a superpower of hope, a superpower of prosperity and love for humanity. By the grace of the Almighty Allah, as I said, whatever I pronounce, when you look around, you see evidence of it. For the past 22 years, nobody has been beaten in this country or attacked in this country because of his race, religion, or origin. Thank you, the Gambian people, for being so godly and being true Muslims, because that is what Islam is all about. A small country with a big heart. Big things come from small things. We are small and powerful. We are a source of pride and inspiration to humanity. Because this is the only country where you walk around, irrespective of where you come from. Nobody will question you, what are you doing here? Nobody will confront you because you look strange. We will welcome you with our smiles. And our smiles come from our hearts. And this is what the Almighty Allah has enjoined all Muslims. That when you meet people, smile. It reassures people, it reassures strangers that you mean well. When you frown, it is ungodly. The smiling coast is truly a divine smiling coast, where every smile is genuine. Thank you, the Gambian people. I am proud of you. I live for you and I die for you. All this wouldn't have been possible without you having faith and following what I told you. That we put our destiny in the hands of the Almighty Allah, and we can see miracles. We have developed faster than most of those countries that worship the wrong people. With the little we have, but backed by the World Bank, the eternal, infinite World Bank, that is the sponsorship of the Almighty Allah. We are one of the proudest countries on earth. I thank to the Almighty Allah that in 1994 when we took over, people were promised starvation in this country. That we will not be able to pay salaries in 3 months. Because I refuse to worship Satan, to follow what was then the norm. And even more than that, I don't worship human beings. I don't worship countries. I worship the Almighty Allah. The fate and destiny of this country is is in the hands of the Almighty Allah alone, whether anybody likes it or not. Thank you, Gambians, for being so steadfast and having the strong faith in Allah. Today, we can raise our hands and say, 22 years, we never had a food crisis. 22 years, nobody died in this country because of hunger. And 22 years of massive progress, despite the fact that anybody from this region, can you tell me what was here? July 22nd, 1994, the area we are standing was a bush. In 1989, we used to do our military training around this area. And I remember that today it takes you less than 20 minutes to come to Sukuta. In those days, it used to take you hours. I remember that in those days, pre-1994, there was only one vehicle that was brave enough to travel every day from Kartong to Banjul. And I still remember the name. It used to be called Regina Maris, I think. I think the paramount chief is very familiar with that. I think that truck was around since the time he was going to school. After the time we were going to school, after the time I became president, that was the shortest way of going to the Combos. From Sukuta all the way to Kartong, civil servants have to rent in order not to be late because the road network was, in fact there was no road network. Those who say that the country is backward, well, you know, if you don't know what is good, so when you see something good, you wouldn't know. Don't blame them. Those who say that the country is in a, all sorts of adjectives have been used. Negative ones at that. That is the fertilizer to develop this country. Those people who worship evil and son the Almighty Allah obviously do not know what is good for the Gambian people. And I'm very happy that you ignore them. Don't respond. They said the best answer to a fool, the best answer that you can give to a fool is silence. Ignore them. Let them say whatever they want to say. We do what we want to do. They can say what they want to say. We will do what we want to do, and nobody else can do anything about it. We will do what the Almighty Allah wants us to do. There is no power in this world that can stop it. Only the Almighty Allah. Believe in the Almighty Allah, and we will continue to prosper. We are not anti anybody, except Satan and satanic values. Whatever is ungodly, we are opposed and against it. We are not racist. And there's a term they always use. Islamic fundamentalists, moderate Islam, or radical Islam. Only those who don't know the Quran and even don't know God use those terms. Islam is Islam. The total submission to the will of the Almighty Allah. Gambia is a typical example of what a Muslim country should be. Everybody is welcome. You are not treated based on your color or creed, because that is what the Quran enjoins us, true Muslims, to do. Anything other than this is not Islam. It's Satan. Terrorists cannot be called Muslims. But those who created them for evil purposes want to desecrate the noble Islam, call them Islamic fundamentalists, radical Islam. There's nothing like that in the Quran. We have one Quran, and only one Quran for the whole Islamic Ummah. We don't have different versions of the Quran. We have one Quran from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you cannot define our religion for us. After all, you don't even know it. Don't sponsor criminals, drug dealers, drunkards, and call them radical Islam or Muslims or jihadists. That's an insult to us, Muslims. You see, Allah exposes everything that we do, good or bad. And I want governments to be very particular, all true Muslims to be vigilant and observe a lot of things. How is it possible that as soon as a terrorist group is created, whose only objective is to give Islam a bad image? All the media houses of those who sponsor them, they know the name of the leader. Give them 1 week, they interview them. If they were terrorists, how come you got to know where they are and you interview them? You know their names. You know the hierarchy, who is next to who, because you created them. But no matter what you do, Islam will prevail, whether you like it or not. No matter what you do, sponsoring criminals who do not believe in any religion, to kill people in your name disguised as Islam, you will all fail. Islam will prevail whether anybody likes it or not. Islam is not what is being portrayed by ISIL and other drunkards. Islam is what is being portrayed here in the Gambia, where human life is respected. I thank you, the Gambian people, for being steadfast in your belief in Islam, through Islam. And that is why you have peace and security, which of course we will not compromise. We will not compromise the peace and stability of this country for whatever ideology. In fact, it's not going to happen. So Gambians, continue to be peaceful, and we will inaugurate more and more formidable projects by the grace of the Almighty Allah. Mr. Chairman, we have visions. Before we had, as a long-term vision, is the Vision 2020. Later on, the last vision we have is 2025, which some people believe is a tall order, but by the grace of the Almighty Allah, maybe we can achieve it by 2020. The Almighty Allah knows. Vision 2018, by the grace of the Almighty Allah, all these visions shall be realized on or before the year stipulated. My dream of a superpower state is being relentlessly pursued through concrete strategies outlined in the National Vision Blueprints, such as the Vision 2016, food self-sufficiency, and of course becoming a major exporter of basic food items. Vision 2018, where university education for all Gambians and non-Gambians in this country would be free by the grace of the Almighty Allah. We have Vision 2020. I still have some disagreement with part of the mission statement, which talks about middle income. We are no longer talking about aspiring for middle income, we are aspiring for the highest income. And of course, Vision 2025, economic superpower. These strategies to date have witnessed the delivery of a significant number of laudable infrastructure and livelihood projects that have pervasive positive impacts on the standard of living of the people. We are together, year on year, celebrated these monumental projects all over the country to commemorate the great July 22nd revolution. The phenomenon will, by the grace of the Almighty Allah, continue for prosperity. Mr. Chairman, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is gratifying for me that today we have come with a high sense of satisfaction to the completion of this monumental building and complex, which does not only refute the 400 years of British colonial misrule and 30 years of bogus political rhetoric of the First Republic, but it also proves wrong all evil people called skeptics and their satanic backers very wrong, as has been always since 1994. Each time they prophesize doom, we get glory, thanks to the Almighty Allah. And they will continue to prophesy doom until they are doomed. They will not see the doom in this country. Let me repeat. Let them continue to prophesy doom, and only doom shall befall them, and not this Gambia, Islamic Republic of the Gambia. We have the Almighty Allah on our side. We are not afraid of anybody, any so-called power, entity, or institution. If I don't love this country, which we have taken from Stone Age in 1994 to a modern country that stands proudly among Committee of Nations. If I don't love you Gambian people, you think I will do it, I will not. I love my country, and I'm proud of my race. I'm proud of my religion. And I want all of us to be proud of who we are as Gambians. Forward ever by the grace of the Almighty Allah. Backward never, never, never again. I said it and I continue to emphasize it. We will not be colonized twice, either directly or indirectly, publicly or secretly. We are independent. We will not be enslaved twice, be it privately, publicly, or otherwise. Not spiritually, not in any way, not ideologically. Our ideology is the worship of the Almighty Allah, so we cannot walk with evil. We will not be colonized spiritually, because we have Allah and Islam in our heart. There is no more space. In some offices you find the big word, no vacancy. In our hearts, there is no vacancy for evil. We have Allah in our hearts. And on this note, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, with humility and gratitude to the Almighty Allah. Gratitude to you, the Gambian people. And non-Gambians who have supported us, who believe in us since day one. It is my singular honor to declare this National Petroleum House open as one of, for the time being, one of the iconic landmarks of the 22nd anniversary of the July 22nd Revolution. I want to thank the contractor. I want to thank all those people who, in one way or the other, made this project possible. I want to thank the women vendors who were selling food items to the workers. Each time I pass on my way to Kanla, I see them around. Thank you, the Gambian women. Unfortunately, throughout the construction of this edifice, I never saw a man sell something around. Thank you, the Gambian women. Very good, Gambia. Thank you very much.